Well, this morning I'm joined by John Ryan, who's the founder of Lawncare Legends, uh, a digital family, would you say, John? A group of landscapers and gardeners who have come together for mutual benefit. Is that correct? And can you give us a little bit of a background as to how it came about, if possible,
Yeah,
please?
yeah. Well, thank you very much for having me on the chat here this morning. Yeah, the Lawn Care Legends is it's more of a community of like-minded people who are wanting to encourage one another, support one another, and see others do well. And that's encouraging for each of those as individuals as well, whether you're newly started up or whether you're. So Lawn Care Legends came about back in July of 2017. Came under the kind of that with social media, it's such a powerful tool of connectivity for a lot of people. However, there is a downside to social media with an awful lot of negativity. There's plenty of keyboard warriors and there's plenty of naysayers. So when it came to people who wanted to ask a question, and I noticed this in a lot of different types of groups across different industries, and that people would ask a question wanting with in all sincerity and genuineness to try and learn something, and the response got in one of criticism and belittling for somebody who was trying to further advance themselves. And with that there, I also noticed that people would then stop asking questions because it was so off-putting. You know, to feel like you were invaluable as an individual, or that you didn't seem to get much respect in return from other people in the industry, can be very off-putting, discouraging, and what have you. So with Lawn Care Legends, the idea was to try and create a group that was run. We tried to run it as clean as possible. We tried to run it on the premise of respect, and that for anybody who wants to be able to share information, and for those who want to learn, that there's a good interchange of encouragement between the members. And that's pretty much been our kind of focal point with how we run the group. And it's because we all have this passion. The ones who are on there have this passion, and we have this connection of like-mindedness for what we do within our perspective areas within the industry, if you know what I mean.
Wonderful. Well, it's one of the biggest cliches in sporting world, entertainment world. A much overused word is legend. What is it that makes a lawn care legend?
Right. I'm glad you asked that, because this isn't some sort of self-congratulatory title that we try and bestow just because we feel like we are legends. For me, because it's easy for people to go down that negative route. It's all too easy to find the reasons to put somebody down or to say something negative rather than something encouraging. So in my kind of limited opinion, what I kind of formulated the concept of a lawn care legend was that for anybody who's on social media and interacts with others with encouragement or sharing of knowledge, that in that regard, everybody can be a legend. So you can you can aspire to be a legend in your skill set and what have you. But I think that in terms of this community online, the interchange of information and support, that if you're one of the few people, because like I said, it's very easy for people to go down that negative route, which is the vast majority. There's a select few people who be different. And in that instance, then, in my opinion, qualify as a lawn care legend online.
Now, you've been around in the business a little while, you're quite well established. So you'll remember the time being in business before the days of social media. What were you missing then that you've now got now through social media?
Yeah, it's very interesting. There's been many times where before social media kind of connected an awful lot of people, where I would have struggled with being isolated, working as a solo operator, and so your whole path of learning, the learning curve, is based on making the mistakes with nobody to guide you left, right, or center to say, well, this, avoid this pitfall or that pitfall. And I found that that can be very depressing for somebody, especially if you're struggling with the business. And then we come into the shorter evenings in the winter, the lack of sunlight, there's a whole host of other external forces that can add to the pressure of running a business. So when social media come about, that we started to formulate these kind of movements of individuals who found their path aligning with others on the internet, it made it easy to connect so much more easier. And so with Lawncare Legends, what one of the goals was that no matter where you were in the world, whether you were in America, Australia, or the UK or Ireland, is that even if you were working on your own, is that you could have this in your pocket and you had access instantly to somebody who could give you a word of encouragement. So it's not to try and make it all sound very rose tinted, but having that support of like-minded people means that you could talk about whatever aspect of the business that you're dealing with, and now you have other people who understand what you're going through, as opposed to the days when you were going through it on your own. And so now, because it's easy to feel less isolated and feel like there is some kind of support network there, that is or difficult to overcome.
Yeah, I just want to say for the people when we put the video out, it's not the greatest signal, but we're getting there. We're doing okay. But if we need to come back and do another video with a stronger signal, we'll do that. But we've got enough at the moment. We're going well. So fingers crossed. Now, you did mention, you alluded to the lone working and dark nights, and how mental health is a little bit of an issue. And I know that you have a great deal of respect for the people at Perennial who have support for that. Can you just talk a little bit around that, John, if you could, please?
Absolutely. I in recent months, I connected up with Perennial, the charity, and we had this amazing conversation. It was funny enough. My family car was in getting a tow bar fitted, and so I had the whole morning free. And we ended up on the phone for over 3 hours, just talking about things from the industry. All manner of aspects of things that affect people within the industry. And the conversation that I had was so profound. And I was aware of Perennial, but not to the depths of the character of the leadership within Perennial. And so throughout the course of our conversation, we were talking about the pandemic. We were talking about the impact that it would have on individuals. I certainly have been able to see, unfortunately, the impact on some people who either their entire business has been wiped out as a result of the pandemic. Others may have been struggling. Other people who had their entire season booked up might have lost maybe 50% of the workload that they were due to do. And as we were talking through these different things, one of the things that really impressed me about Perennial was the fact that they saw this not as a moment to reach out to people for how do we continue to fund Perennial, but now this is a moment where this is one of the darker hours within the industry for a long time, and they have an opportunity to be there to support and help people who are struggling. So it might sound a bit cliche, but normally with charities, you kind of almost expect some kind of aspect of how do we raise funds and money. Whereas this is what I'm talking about, the testament to the character of the leadership. They saw this as the opportunity for us to do our part. And that there for me has been mind-blowing, because when I was struggling with my business years ago, I never had access to Perennial. I wasn't aware of them. And so now that I'm aware of what kind of support that they can provide to people, Lawncare Legends can do so much, because there's only so much people want to share publicly on a public platform, whereas Perennial has the ability to talk to people in confidentiality, and they have experienced people in different areas, whether it's personal finances, personal issues going on at home, whether it's dealing with mental health and the darkness that can come with that they have people there to help that. So in my experience, that coming across perennial, I think it's absolutely amazing. The testament of character that they're here now to make sure, let's get behind the people who need our support. It's very impressive.
A big family, I think, in all sectors of this particular industry, and collectively, if we all pull together, I do know there's many instances of people who have succumbed, and we did to support them and their families through what is a very difficult time. Just on to another point, it's a fair assessment, John, to say an awful lot of your legends are guys who started off in the industry as golf greenkeepers and groundsmen, and who have gravitated to the gardening and landscaping side of the business. So there is a synergy between what we all do, basically.
Absolutely, and it's something that there's a great deal of inspiration for those who you've got the likes of the guys who are coming from the greenkeeper and the groundsman side of the industry with their experience and their level of education over the years. And then you have the other guys who may be just complete startups that started out from a hobby or started out from a side hustle effectively with their business. And what's very interesting is that whenever I've seen individuals get together for just a social interaction over a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, is the exchange of information and the networking that comes about. And nobody ever goes to these meetings necessarily as, well, this is a networking event. But we like that idea of being a part of something business. And so when there's those meetings together, the interaction between those in the industry who have that experience hands-on from the greenkeeping, it's great to see the mix between the two, but yet we're all still under the same umbrella. So there's definitely a synergy there in the industry for sure.
One of the areas, though, that you're a hell of involved in is one that you probably didn't think you would be right at the very beginning, because running a small business involves not just the out there doing the job, but there's so many other facets to being a small business. You've got VAT, tax, personnel, the whole gamut, health and safety. So there's a lot to learn for anybody who feels they want to move into your side of things.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things that we're hoping to kind of grow on over the next couple of years as a social media kind of community. And we're only one aspect of the larger community as a whole within the industry. But for our part with Lawncare Legends, what we hope to do is to try and bring some contribution to the community and to the industry for those who would feel a benefit from such events as in 2021 we hope to organize a Lawncare Legends business workshop day and some demos with other machines. And with that business workshop side of things is to address the side of business where we can be very skilled at putting an edge on a lawn, or stripes, or treating a lawn, or pruning shrubs and planting flower beds, or designing gardens. But when it comes to the likes of being good at scheduling or being good at marketing and knowing what the key tips are on how to be have a positive presence on social media to grow our business. And over the course of the last 5 years, maybe more, it's been very interesting to see how a lot of the tech side of social media and the internet, and people who know about SEOing websites, and how they highlight the importance of a social media presence. And if you don't have some kind of presence online with social media, it can seriously affect the effectiveness of your business and the presence of people being able to find you. And so with the Lawncare Legends workshops, we hope to be able to bring some of that information that can benefit somebody with a business like ours, where our focus and our skill set is in the garden, but hopefully we can try and develop out on the business side to do better and make it more profitable, make it more easier to have the kind of work-life balance that we want without worrying, are we doing this right? Why aren't we getting enough work? Now we have other challenges that face us financially. How to develop out that side of the business would give us a strong footing. And so that's where we're looking to try and contribute something like that with everybody in the industry that would like to get involved with it,
Well, you've had a very, very strong beginning, launch to Lawncare
Yeah.
Legends. Where would you like to think you might be 2 or 3, 5 years? I mean, it's very difficult to have a crystal ball that works these days, but where would you like to be a couple of years down the line with Lawncare Legends?
Well, we started as a Facebook group, but what became very, very clear early on was that when we organized some meetups, was the desire of a lot of people to have that connection, not only online, that we could have a mobile phone that we could access, at a moment's notice when we're in between jobs, but also if there was days where we could actually take a break from all the other kind of requirements and duties that we have, but by going and meeting up with others. And so it became clear that Lawncare Legends was perhaps maybe just a little bit more than a Facebook group. And that the more that these things were organized, the more impressive it was to me. So when we had our first Lawncare Legends Awards at Saltex in 2018, we had over 100 people attend our first meetup there. And to see people from all over the UK and Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland attend this event that we started off organizing on Facebook was very impressive. So within the next 5 to 10 years, it would be hopefully an ambition to see Lawncare Legends with the ethos of respect, the interchange of encouragement, the sharing of knowledge and experience and helping people do better with their business to grow out, and that it becomes a household name within the industry, not only from the manufacturer and through local businesses in all regions of the UK and Ireland. That would be a particular goal that I would love to see fulfilled for Lawncare Legends.
Well, given the start you've had, and having spoken to you a couple of times over the last little while, I see a driven man there who knows where he's going. So I wouldn't put a lot of money on you not achieving the goals that you set out for yourself over the next little while. So, John, next time we want to speak face to face rather than across the airwaves. But good luck with everything at Lawncare Legends. And it's a very laudable organisation with objectives that I think I personally agree with wholeheartedly. Is how you're going about things. So good luck with everything, and I hope we'll get the chance to meet up in a bar somewhere when all these restrictions have dropped away and we've got a proper future to look forward to. So thanks very much, John.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me, Scott.